Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, as we gather tonight, we ask that we get your wisdom, that we apply everything that you want for this city. We love you with all our heart, Lord, and we ask you to take care of our citizens. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a roll call.
Aaron Rowe.
Here.
John Manus. Savannah Robinson. Here. Ken Colley.
Here.
Bill Young.
Here.
Ron Sharon.
Here.
We have a quorum. Has everybody received the minutes from July 11th and has gone over them? Would entertain a motion to approve those minutes?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as printed.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. All right, it is approved. Okay, public input. Does anybody from the public like to talk about any of the agenda items at this time? No? All right, unfinished business. Review of the ditch cleanup project. Mr. Steve?
We got, went out for quotes on the ditch. Starts at 22 and goes up to 11th. And Joe's here to talk to you about it and tell you about how much and where.
Okay. Well, so I've only got actually one quote in, and I'm waiting on a second one still. We had the one that was, I believe, $7,700, and then on the second one, I've reached out to him. They actually came out late last week, and they said they would get me a quote early this week, and I messaged them today and have not got a response yet. So I just have the one quote, but we'll have another one here at the next meeting.
This is, if it's less than 10, that's within my spending authority. We could go ahead and grant it if it's the right, if all things meeting, and then we'll bless it and get started on it.
Sure.
And so you need to know that and that's probably the best way to get there.
One little thing I want to add on that, you know, you said you're going to the 22 highway, you're not going to jump on over there and do up there by Stanley's house, down there to 6th Street. You know where Stanley's house is there, the creek comes right up there and goes into the lake there.
No, I'm waiting on whoever owns that property over there, the old market, to clean their end of it too, because that's part of theirs, that's not ours.
Well, yeah.
That, you know, every once in a while, as a business owner, you kinda have to take a chunk and go do something.
Walmart, you talking about where I used to be?
Yeah.
I kept it clean when I was there,
I understand that.
but I'll say something too.
I'm just saying, I've got, right now, Joe's got one across the way we're working with to get the building cleaned up, and you gotta run them down, and that's, you know, that's the way it goes.
Are you talking about the mobile home on Fort?
No, that's coming too. They finally found, we know who got the dumpster to come. I'm talking about the one building across the street.
Well, the lady that owns that big furniture factory down there, it's along that creek down there too. You know, getting business owners, you know, I mean, did she fall into that where?
She only owns to the top of the bank on her side.
That's what they all say.
No, that's what the real
Well, I
estate
know, but everybody
says.
wants it cleaned up, you know, but.
But the problem is that they own to where that fence was and under that power line, and the people that own those houses, they own both sides of that ditch.
Up by Trosper's house and all that.
All by the Trosper's house, that's
All right.
both sides of it. You know, you have to be an adult and assume responsibility sometime.
Sure.
All right, any more discussion on the ditch cleanup? All right, let's move on to some new business. Consideration of ordinance 499 to repeal and replace ordinance 452 and increasing the monthly rate for residential sanitation services. And the chair would entertain a vote to place it on its first reading.
I'll make a motion that we placed on first reading.
I'll second it.
Got a Motion and a second. Let's do a roll call vote.
Ron Cherum,
Yes.
Bill Young,
Yes.
Ken Collie,
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Aaron Rowe.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Matt, would you do the honors of reading that for
Yes.
us?
Ordinance number 499, an ordinance amending section 1 of ordinance 452 to increase the monthly rate for residential sanitation services in the city of Barling, Arkansas, and declaring an emergency. Whereas section 1 of ordinance 452 raised the monthly sanitation rate for residential customers within the city of Barling from $15.50 per month to $17 per month. And whereas the cost of the city of Barling for residential sanitation has increased since the passage of ordinance 452, now be it ordained and enacted by the Board of Directors of the city of Barling as follows. Section 1, Section 2 of ordinance 452 is hereby amended to provide that the rate to be charged for sanitation services provided to residential customers as said category is defined by section 1 of ordinance 429 of the city of Barling Municipal Code shall be increased from $17 to $19 per month. Section 2, this increase shall take effect beginning August 1, 2023. Section 3, all other ordinances or portions of ordinances in direct conflict herewith are hereby repealed. Section 4, it being necessary to preserve the city's public health, safety, and welfare, an emergency is hereby declared to exist, and this ordinance shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval. Passed and approved this 25th day of July 2023, signed by Greg Murray, Mayor, attested to by Florine Brown, City Clerk.
I do have a question.
Okay. Yes.
This $2 increase is only the amount that the sanitation department or cards has raised it to us, is that correct? Okay, there's no extra, okay,
There's
so
no-
it's just,
no, but it's
it's
just-
just the amount of the increase that cards put to us?
Just to stay with even.
Okay.
How long is this good for? I mean, as far as how long is our bid for sanitation after we bump it up $2?
With
Year?
cards, 3 more years with them, yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna stay this way for 3 more years?
They can raise their rates 6% every year.
That was,
And they
Okay.
have, this is the third year, and we have not increased yet until this year. That's why we did 18%, which is exactly what they've raised the last 3 years.
okay.
So they still have 2 more years to raise it 6%.
So we can actually look for this to be a yearly thing?
Yearly thing,
Okay.
yeah. Bill,
It's
there's
still a good deal.
I remember when he came and talked to us, he said they would only do that if they absolutely had to, and we were kind of alluded to the fact that we wouldn't expect all those increases.
Fuel
So
costs
that's
have gone up a
disappointing.
lot.
Yeah, I know some of it's pandemic inflation and all that.
It's eating it up. If you look on the 452 there, 452 was the previous, and it's the next sheet down. And that took effect February of 19, February 1st, and so we've been 4.5 years
Without an increase?
without an increase.
Okay.
That's the key right there.
In the last 4 years, the inflation has been, all of you know, 10% or more on everything.
And I think they do a good job.
They do. We still gotta get people to put everything in the can, because they're still leaving it outside the can in some neighborhoods.
All
I
right.
won't say anything, Aaron, but go ahead.
Hey, I forget to put mine out, so I know it ain't me.
I'm glad they're big enough to where I can go 2 weeks.
All right, how about a motion to vote to suspend the rules requiring that it be read in 3 separate occasions?
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion.
Second.
Got a second. Ken. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Collie.
Yes.
Bill Young,
Yes.
Ron Cherum.
Yes.
All right. A motion to approve the ordinance.
Make a motion, we approve the ordinance as presented.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Collie.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cherum.
Yes.
And a motion to adopt the emergency clause so we can take this effect immediately.
move that we adopt the emergency clause for ordinance 499.
All right, got a motion. Do I have a second? Got a second by Savannah. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Sharon.
Yes.
All right, all approved. On to the next one. You need a wrist brace or anything you're checking off or what? Consideration of ordinance 500 to repeal and replace ordinance 489 and establishing water and sewer rate structures. Can we get a motion to place it on its first reading?
Make that motion.
Got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a second. Roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Sharon.
Yes.
All right, Matt, would you like to read that ordinance for us?
Yes, I will. And what we've done, just so y'all know, Matt, the other Matt, the good Matt, we had to raise some rates on taps and connection fees. So the bulk of this ordinance is remaining the same. We've just had some costs go up. So basically, what we're raising, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, is really section 5.
Correct.
In that the main bulk of it, we had to raise those rates depending on the size of the tap?
Yes.
Okay, and so that's what we've done in a nutshell, so we really haven't changed anything else. But in accordance with Steve and I's philosophy, to not just change the rate so that we have 8 separate ordinances floating around out there, changing one, we're just gonna incorporate it and read it every time. If we just have to do this once a year, that's fine. So, this is ordinance number 500, an ordinance repealing and replacing ordinance number 489, establishing water and sewer rate structures, charges, penalties, and tapping fees, establishing temporary water and sewer service guidelines, establishing sewer abatement charges for water used in filling of swimming pools, assessment of charges pursuant to Act 1053 of 1991, declaring an emergency and for other purposes related thereto in the city of Barling, Arkansas. Be it ordained by the Board of Directors of the city of Barling, Arkansas, that section 1, permanent water and sewer rate structure. The rates for water and sewer service shall be based upon water consumption as follows within the city limits of Barling. 1 to 3,000 gallons, $21.50 minimum. Sewer rates, $11.77 minimum. Over 3,000 gallons, $6.16 per thousand gallons and $2.45 per thousand gallons. Outside the city limits, which presently is only Central City, is $3.25 per thousand gallons. Section 2, disconnection of service. All bills for water and/or sewer service are due upon receipt shall be paid no later than the 27th of each month by 4:30 p.m. If the 27th falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or holiday observed by the city of Barling, said payment is due by the end of the next business day by 4:30 p.m. If not paid timely, as aforementioned, the water and/or sewer services may be disconnected by the city of Barling. If in the event that a particular premises is disconnected from the water and/or sewer system, the customer of said premises prior to reconnection and prior to obtaining service within the city of Barling at another location from aforesaid premises shall pay all delinquent charges, fees, and penalties in addition to a reconnection charge of $150 for the reconnection of the premises to the city of Barling system, and shall be required to pay to the city of Barling a deposit in the amount equal to the amount of an average monthly utility bill for a 2-month period. Section 3, penalty. The city shall require an additional penalty of 10% of the balance due whenever a bill is not paid by 4:30 p.m. on the 17th of the month. However, if such due date shall fall on a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday observed by the city, then such bill shall be due and payable by the end of the following business day. Section 4, improper connection. No water meter shall be installed upon the premises without permission of the city, and there shall be no dual connection or more than one user on any single meter. The only exception shall be for multiple family residences such as apartment buildings, commercial buildings, or trailer parks. These particular exceptions will allow multiple connections as approved by the administrator or a person designated by the city administrator, and shall be billed no less than a minimum monthly rate for each separate unit in the event of a commercial structure or resident unit. The facilities or services of the City of Barling water system shall not be furnished without a charge being made therefor. Section 5, connection fees. A, all persons connecting to the water system shall be required to pay a connection or tapping fee. B, the connection tapping fees shall be as follows. 1, $300 for every connection tap installed. 2, in addition, each connection or tap installed shall incur an additional fee based upon the size of the line installed, to wit, 5/8 inch or 3/4 inch, $460, 1 inch through 1.5 inches, $850, 2 inches, $1,000. 3, in addition, each connection or tap installed by the City of Barling, Department of Public Works, shall incur an additional fee based upon the size of the line installed, to wit, 5/8 or 3/4 inch, $1,700, inch to 1.5 inches, $2,200, and 2 inches, $6,000. Section 6, deposits. A, all persons requiring new service shall be required to pay to the city a deposit in the amount of $150 plus a non-refundable charge of $35 for beginning the service. The balance of the deposit shall be refunded upon termination of service after all charges, assessments, and penalties have been paid. B, the deposit will be paid in full prior to the city beginning water service. Section 7, monitoring, technology, stormwater, and fire equipment assessments. A, pursuant to Section 1053 of 1991 as amended by Act 903 of 1993, there shall be assessed a monitoring assessment against each water meter, a charge of 40 cents per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. B, there shall be assessed a technology assessment against each water meter, a charge of $1.50 per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. C, there shall be assessed a stormwater assessment fee against each water meter, a charge of 50 cents per month, which amount shall be in addition to the rates set forth in this ordinance. D, there shall be a fire equipment assessment against each water meter in the amount of $7.50 per month, in addition to any and all rates set forth in this ordinance. Section 8, temporary water service. A, persons needing temporary water and sewer service for construction purposes or for cleaning purposes may obtain such services by providing a $70 deposit where water taps have been made and meters are in place and water is available. Said deposit shall include a non-refundable service fee of $35. B, rates for temporary service shall be the same as for permanent service. C, persons with temporary water and sewer service will be billed for usage at the same time as regular customers and will be subject to the same late payment penalty. D, failure to pay for temporary service will result in the balance being deducted from the deposit and the service disconnected. Use of temporary service for reasons other than provided for in this ordinance may result in disconnection of service. Section 9, filling of swimming pools, sewer charge abatement. A, residents who have swimming pools are eligible for a one-time per calendar year abatement of sewer charges for the amount of water used to fill their pool. B, to be eligible, residents must complete and sign a statement regarding the size of the pool and the amount of water necessary to fill it. An abatement of sewer charges for that amount will be made on the following monthly bill. Forms for this purpose will be available in the water department. C, a swimming pool is defined as a permanent structure installed adjacent to a residence, whether above the ground or in the ground. For purposes of this ordinance, a wading pool or hot tub or jacuzzi do not qualify as a swimming pool. E, the city administrator or his designated representative is authorized to require proof of the size or capacity of a pool and may deny a sewer abatement if such information is not provided. Section 10, repealing clause, all parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Section 11, emergency clause, the establishment of a rate structure sufficient to pay the costs incurred by the city of Barling from its supplier, costs incurred to comply with health and safety provisions of various statutes and regulations of the state of Arkansas, and its own overhead, is necessary to the fiscal welfare of the city of Barling, such costs being presently incurred such that an emergency is thereby declared to exist, and therefore this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its date of passage, passed and approved this 25th day of July, 2023. Greg Murray, mayor, attested to by Florine Brown, city clerk.
So the main part of it is section 5, and that's mainly for like new homes and such like that. Is that right, Matt?
New homes are only be affected by this.
Okay.
So I have a question. On these rates that, the city charges, it says 1 to 3,000 gallons is $21.50, and that's a minimum. I get that. But down here where it says outside the city limits, Central City only gets charged $3.25 per 1,000 gallons. If you use up to 3,000 gallons, that's $9.75, where we're charging $21.50. Why is Central getting it for so much less than what we're selling it for?
When we figured it out, what it is, it's like a pass-through. We're not having to doctor or do anything to the central water system. We're not having to treat anything. It's just, we're a conduit and the water's going on to them.
We don't treat our water, do we?
No, but we also have to maintain a system here, and we don't maintain theirs or do anything with theirs.
Okay.
That's how the difference is.
There's a big difference. This is
Yeah.
the only reason I'm asking that, why Central gets it for $3.25 a gallon, and we get it for $21.50 for 3,000 gallons. Okay.
You can get a second meter for a sprinkler system, right? Okay.
And when you get a second meter for a sprinkler system, you can pickle it into the fall. We've done it in the past, and you pay no sewer on it.
Right,
It's just a water only.
right. That was purpose of.
I have a question. Just out of curiosity, why does Central City get their water from us, but not just from Fort Smith directly, if we get it for Fort Smith? I'm just curious how it works.
Pipeline.
Yeah, it goes through Barling, so. we
Does
supply it.
Charleston's water not go through Barling?
They got their own
Franklin
watershed.
Sebastian, Franklin Sebastian pipe that comes around Chaffee and heads off down 22 Highway.
Okay. So they're on a different pipe.
Another pipeline that doesn't go through the city.
Central's on the same pipe.
As us.
I just wondered. There's a lot of pipes running out there.
Any other questions or comments?
Just out of curiosity, what are we hooking up the new building with? What inch line or whatever are they gonna have that?
Which new building?
The
Right on Chaffee.
warehouse, the one they're building out
I
there.
think they're doing 8-inch. Or maybe,
It's off R8.
yeah. I mean, maybe a 6-inch meter though, but they're making that tap themselves.
We're just supplying the water and they're doing the rest of it.
Okay, thank you.
We would entertain a motion to suspend the rules requiring that it be read in 3 separate occasions.
I make that
Motion to
motion.
suspend the rule to 3 readings.
All right,
Second. You can have it.
Savannah beat you to the motion. Would you like to second?
Second her motion.
Give him a second. Let's do a roll call vote.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young,
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
All right, how about a motion to approve this ordinance?
I'll make that motion.
Savannah makes the motion.
I'd like to second that one.
Ken would second that one. Roll call vote for the ordinance.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
Savannah, would you like to go 3 for 3 and make a motion to adopt the emergency
I would love
clause?
to. I make a motion that we adopt the emergency clause.
And I'm guessing Mr. Colley would like to go through.
I would love to second that.
He would love to second, and let's do our roll call vote for this.
Aaron Rowe,
Yes.
John Manus.
Yes.
Savannah Robinson.
Yes.
Ken Coley.
Yes.
Bill Young.
Yes.
Ron Cheryl.
Yes.
Alrighty. All right. The mayor got it right for the first time. All right, we're gonna give the mayor a pat on the back for that. All right, let's do department head reports. Mr. Joe.
Okay, other than our never-ending growing season that we've got going on right now, just a couple of things other than what's on my list of importance. The storage building over on Patty Lane, I've been in contact with that gentleman, and he had that company, it's gonna come out this Thursday, the 27th, to move that shed to his backyard to where he can be in compliance. I went out, met with him, showed him where he could do it, so after the 27th, that should be taken care of. Also, the house down here across from Bruce and Terry's, that trailer that caught on fire, I've been dealing with that, and I did confirm with the dumpster company that guy did request dumpsters. They tell me that he's 9th on the list. I tried to get a firm answer on how quickly, and they couldn't give me how quickly. They just said that he is on the list and that he had 9 in front of him. So that's where we're at on that, and that's pretty much all I've got.
And don't forget to stop by 608 L Street and inform my son that the grass needs to be mowed.
Should we all stop by?
Yes, please.
It sounds better coming from him than Dad, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely. Matt, how about you?
We've been busy with brush pickup. We've got equipment rented, so right now they're working 7 days a week trying to get that picked up, and it's nonstop.
Estimation about how much longer?
Hopefully just another week.
Another week.
What are you doing with that, Matt?
We're taking it to the park and we're gonna burn it.
Excellent, excellent.
You guys are doing a good job, by the way.
And right now, they are up to 145 loads on the pickup.
I believe it.
Still lots to go.
And lots to go.
A lot to go.
All right. Tommy?
For the month of June, we had 5 fires, 49 medicals, 21 public service, for a total of 75 runs, average response time 2 minutes 49 seconds. We made 6 runs outside the city. We issued 16 burn permits. We've received the new boom for the brush truck so that we can wash that road down at the park. And we have the boom put together and on the truck. And we finished the plumbing today, so all that's left is wiring it. And it'll be ready to go. And the new bumper, they've taken the cab, the pump housing, and the rear section, and they've all been bolted to the chassis, so now it's a rolling truck.
Now, do you recommend hydrating before you go out and mow the grass for a 14-year-old boy in the afternoon so that we don't have to call you to resuscitate him or anything? Rehydrate, okay. Just making sure. I'll cover all my bases today.
We'll be on standby though.
Okay. All right, Brian?
We submitted some numbers. We've got a step program going right now, it's speed enforcement, it runs through the 31st. Everything else running pretty good.
Right now.
Full capacity on the police department, staff-wise?
Tommy, how's your staff? Are you staffed fully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it what we believe it is?
How's everybody in HR? Good? Yep, all right. HR's good.
What about the splash pad? We heard that a couple of them had busted,
coating on it,
got
didn't
sewed up or whatever.
It's coated.
It's coated?
Resurfaced,
Yeah.
and it's non-slip now.
Okay.
They resurfaced it, we opened it back up on Saturday, and it seems to be working. No one has contacted me to tell me it's great, but no call means good, so no one said it wasn't working either, so I assume everybody's been great. I went out there a couple times and everybody seems really happy with it. Lots and lots of requests on when we're gonna get a pavilion down there so they can have parties.
I think it's a great idea.
Good idea.
If you don't yet belong to Hey Barling, I would highly recommend it. It is quite entertaining.
I love anonymous posts.
In the evening when you've got nothing better to do, read Hey Barling.
If you would like to hear what's really happening.
There's also a spoof page.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the City of Barling that
Yeah.
can be a little entertaining as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Baseball cards, did Karen ever get back with you about nothing? Okay.
No.
I will.
I've reached out to like 3 different companies. I don't know why people don't want our business. I am trying. They're not getting back with me. And I'm waiting on one company now, said they're gonna ship me samples. So that's the
Okay.
last thing I heard.
I'll get with Karen, cause I know she's been ill, so I'll try to contact her again.
Fall cruise night, I don't have a date, I'm thinking October sometime, if anybody has a don't want date or something, let me know, and we'll decide that soon, to get started on that.
First week October, second week maybe?
Last,
Last week,
I've already been bounced by
a Halloween one, that'd be
There
fun.
you go.
by the cleanup weekend. They wanted, we worked the cleanup weekend the last time, which is the last full weekend in October. It's not the 31st though, it's not Halloween night, it's before it.
Just a second.
October's always nice weather.
28, 29.
Because of
Or
weather.
27, 28. It's that-
October?
huh?
Of October.
Yeah. That's cleanup weekend. 27, 28.
It's good with me, if nobody cares, I'll get a flyer made and.
Select a date, and bring it
Yeah.
before the board.
All right, Steve, you're up.
It'll be quick. First off, Tracy from Wapatiti will be here tomorrow to talk about the park and the park grant. And we had the meeting with Mike Sprague, and one of the things we talked about was extending the track. We talked about a pavilion, and we talked about the future latrine, where we were gonna put the bathrooms in the future. Mike liked the looks of things, you know, he has to be non-political, but Tracy will be here tomorrow to, in the morning, about 8:30 to talk the grant. And she called earlier and said, they have some things they want to touch up at the end, and that's good.
Are they gonna be out the park?
No, she's coming here. She'll be here. I put out the word about a director. Flo will tell you we got, and Fort Smith got a proposal that's off out into the future from the legislature. So we've got one resume that came in, and the gentleman lives here. He's retired, and he's very familiar with worked here 2.5 years, some years ago. And the name is James W., otherwise known as Poncho Davis, that lives on N Street up there. And he's the one that bought the extra lot that we never mowed or couldn't mow or couldn't get to half the time, and incorporated. And so he's mowing the yard up there. So that, anyhow, it is here, his resume, for you all that want to look at it. That's the only one I've received. If you know the man, you may want to talk to him. And
Did he
see-
used to be a police officer in Portsmouth?
Huh?
Didn't he used to be a police officer in Portsmouth?
Yeah, and
I
he
know
was,
him.
and he was a police
Yeah.
officer here.
There's a police officer here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, those that, yeah. Anyhow, that's that's there. And then, the go-ahead is going on to pave the remainder, about 600 foot of, they call it Mahogany's, 4th Avenue, and it'll be to the end of our city limits. And that's under design right now, and probably going out to bid. We got the preliminary sketches. Tommy's got the drawing, I have a copy, and Greg's seen it, of the fire station on this property, and the parking would be renewed in gravel down on the back 40 down here, and we would use the upper lot up here for the fire station because of foundations and a few other things. It will probably be $2 million. About $200 a square foot. Fire stations aren't free. They gotta have equipment, they gotta have ventilation, they gotta have to have laundry, they have to have refill, air purification, hazardous chemical storage, equipment, spares. What else, Tommy? Is that hit it?
People to go in it.
People to go in it.
Yeah.
And a room, and if you have one into the future, you're gonna have, at some time when the economics will stand it and the need is there, you're gonna have to have real bunk rooms and a shower, you know, real place to stay. It'll be here within 5 years, based on what they're building right now,
And this fire station you're proposing has these things that are gonna be in it?
it will have to be in it. If you want to do it, you want to do it right the first time.
What are we gonna do with the building over there that Tommy's in right now?
It'll be Public Works. They got stuff that's sitting outside that we gave, that was originally Public Works stuff. It
I'm
was
talking about the old city hall.
old- That's gonna be the swimming pool. No, Bill, you shouldn't have asked. What it is, it'll have to come down because of the mold, okay? It's gotta be stripped out. And then anything, if there's any asbestos in there, it's gotta be stripped out. And then you tear it out the wood, and then if it was like our school up here, you had to tear down the rock,
How about a timeline?
probably in 2 years.
2 years.
And my idea was to, no parenthetical funny business, but it held water real well.
Too well.
And we could take the rocks down and leave the basement as it was and put a pump and filter in, and we got a pool.
We charge to get
Huh?
admission. We charge admission.
Well, you could,
Put fish in it.
yeah, fish or whatever. And the other thing is that we could sell everybody that ever went to school there $10 a rock if they just, a souvenir rock of your
Yeah.
school.
Look at that.
Good luck with that.
Moving on along.
Okay, that's it.
All righty. Anybody have any announcements or anything like that they'd like to say? Anybody have, from the public, want to talk about non-agenda items? Mr. Ron, would you do the honors?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned, folk. Have a great and stay cool out there. And Logan, please mow the grass.
Yeah, Logan.
Sort of give us